Imagine a business meeting at a famous company turning into a real nightmare. This is the story of The Fatal Meeting, where executives face terrifying and deadly events during a simple meeting. Press play and get ready for terror. Innovatic Corporation was globally renowned for its technological innovations and luxurious facilities. Founded by a visionary named Henry Turner, the company had reached the peak of success, becoming a giant in the global market. However, few knew that behind closed doors, the company hid dark secrets. On the morning of June 13th, a crucial meeting was scheduled to discuss the launch of a revolutionary new product. Present were the most important executives of the company, including Henry Turner himself, along with investors and external consultants. The meeting room, on the 25th floor of the main building, was imposing and modern, with windows offering a panoramic view of the city. From the beginning of the meeting, the atmosphere seemed tense. The participants felt a strange pressure in the air, as if something invisible was watching every move. Henry Turner, a man known for his unshakable composure, seemed uncomfortable. As he spoke about the meeting's objectives, his eyes frequently darted to the door of the room, as if expecting something or someone to enter at any moment. As the discussion progressed, technical failures began to occur. The projectors flickered, the lights wavered, and the internet connection repeatedly dropped. The technical team was called, but they couldn't identify the problem. Henry tried to maintain focus, but the feeling that something was terribly wrong only grew. Suddenly, the lights went out completely, plunging the room into darkness. There was a moment of absolute silence before a low, guttural voice echoed through the room. "You should never have meddled with what you don't understand." The words hung in the air, chilling the blood of everyone present. When the lights returned, one of the investors, Mr. Collins, was dead, his eyes wide open with an expression of pure terror on his face. Everyone stood up in panic, trying to understand what had happened. Henry ordered that no one leave the room until the situation was resolved, fearing that the culprit was among them. While waiting for security to arrive, the executives tried to investigate what could have caused Mr. Collins's death. One of the consultants, Dr. Emily Rodriguez, a specialist in paranormal phenomena, began to suspect that something supernatural was at play. She explained that she had studied similar cases where vengeful entities attacked people in high-stress situations. Dr. Rodriguez suggested that Innovatech Corporation might be built on cursed land, or that some sinister practice in the company's past had awakened malevolent forces. Henry, initially skeptical, began to consider this possibility as the events became stranger. As the meeting continued, another executive, Mrs. Harris, began to feel a sharp pain in her chest. Within minutes, she was also dead, with invisible finger marks around her neck. Panic set in, and everyone began to blame each other, creating an atmosphere of distrust and fear. The lights began to flicker again, and the sound of footsteps could be heard outside the room, even though the floor was completely empty. Henry tried to remain calm, but the tension was palpable. He decided it was time to act and sought Dr. Rodriguez's help to understand how they could escape the situation. Dr. Rodriguez explained that to ward off the entities, they would need to perform a protection ritual. Using the materials available in the room, such as candles and personal items from the participants, she began to draw a protection circle in the center of the meeting room. The executives, desperate, followed her instructions, holding candles and reciting ancient chants. As the ritual progressed, the entities became more aggressive. Objects were thrown around the room, windows cracked, and an oppressive presence seemed to suffocate the air. The protection circle began to glow with a faint light, but the entities did not retreat. At the height of the terror, a shadowy figure emerged from the darkness, revealing itself as the vengeful spirit of a former employee who had died under mysterious circumstances decades ago. The entity accused Henry Turner of continuing the corrupt practices that led to his death and demanded vengeance. Henry, desperate, pleaded for forgiveness and promised to change the company's ways, but the entity was not convinced. Dr. Rodriguez, in a last-ditch effort, threw a protection amulet directly at the shadowy figure, causing a deafening scream and a flash of light. When the light dissipated, the entity was gone, but the room was in ruins. Only a few executives had survived, including Henry and Dr. Rodriguez, but all were forever marked by the experience. The bodies of those who did not survive were scattered around the room, and the air still felt charged with a dark energy. Security finally arrived, but it was too late to save most of those present. Henry knew that Innovatech's reputation was ruined, and that he would never be able to forget the horrors of that meeting. He decided to close the company and try to rebuild his life. but the shadow of the past continued to haunt him. Henry sought redemption, donating his fortune to charity and helping the needy, but the sense of guilt never disappeared. The meeting room on the 25th floor was sealed and considered cursed by everyone who worked in the building. Rumors said that sometimes whispers and screams could be heard coming from there. The survivors went their separate ways, but all shared a dark bond. Dr. Rodriguez continued her paranormal research, but never got involved in corporate cases again. The legend of Innovatech's fatal meeting spread, becoming a cautionary tale about the dangers of meddling with forces beyond human comprehension. Do you want part 2 of this story? Leave it in the comments. If you have a horror story and want to see it published on our channel, send us your story.